Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Eliezer Melamed, Shlita. Yom Chamishi today, and we're getting close to Shabbos Kodesh, and of course close to Purim Habalin Latova. Please continue davening for Chaylei Tzva Haganah Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Petzua Yisrael, and the safe return of our hostages. And we dedicate our learning Le'ili Nishmas Seren Daniel Shemoneh Avdaron V'Shelei Shemikim Damo. And also today, in our family, observing the yahrzeit of my paternal grandmother, Rivka Bas Ephraim III, and the Neshama should have an aliyah. So the next chapter, Shlei Davar Chotetz Bein Lakir. So we talked about where you should situate yourself within the synagogue, meaning you should go inside and out by the door. Let's continue that idea a little bit further. Mitzvah min hamuvcha Shlei Davar Chotetz Bein Hamispal Amida Lakir. We have an optimal performance of the mitzvah that when you daven Shemoneh Esreh, there should be nothing separating between you and the wall. We don't want anything to distract you or walk in front of you or be in front of you, and that will distract you from the davening. And if, let's say, you have near the wall, there is some piece of furniture, like a cabinet, a closet, something, then this is not considered a separation. You can certainly daven there. In other words, you're not going to have a distraction of somebody walking between you and a bookcase because you're right next to it. And the same thing is that when we have tables, people daven. It's one of the reasons why people daven with tables, by the way, in shuls. Or a shtender. I don't know how to translate the word shtender other than shtender. Fancy people use the word lectern, but it's not really a lectern, it's a shtender. Those are also not a chatzitza, it's not a separation, which again, why people will use a shtender. Some say that even another person creates a chatzitza. Uperish Maran Harav Kook, or Rav Kook Zatzal explains, that if someone nearby is not davening, you shouldn't daven behind that person. You shouldn't be in front of you while you're saying Shemoneh Esreh. However, if someone in front of you is davening and is also saying Shemoneh Esreh, that certainly is permitted, which, by the way, is fairly common because when you daven in a shul, let's say they don't have shtenders or tables or walls and there's just other people, this can certainly happen. One shouldn't daven facing pictures of any sorts, because again, it'll serve as a distraction. So that's why in the front of shuls, where the Aron Kodesh is, the custom is that we don't have any images or any pictures or things like that. However, if they're higher than your line of sight, so higher than your, let's say, average person is between 5.5, 6 feet tall, let's say something like that, so higher than that would be allowed. We're not worried that you're going to have a distraction during davening. Again, we're talking about during Shemoneh Esreh itself. The rest of Shemoneh Esreh is a different question. We'll talk about that in a second. And when we have decorations and designs that are placed on the paroches or on the Aron Kodesh, as is the custom, these are allowed because this is the common practice and they don't distract the person in the middle of Shemoneh Esreh. Asr hispalal mul rei, mimnei shemispalal kaneged nir k'mishpacha lebeboaso. You shouldn't daven in front of or opposite a mirror, because if you're davening and bowing down to it, well, the implication is obvious. You're bowing down to yourself or something like that. And even if you cover your eyes, still you shouldn't daven opposite of a mirror. At night, you shouldn't daven opposite a window. Well, let's say people outside could see you. They could see your frame. They could see you. Why? Because you seeing others or others seeing you could distract your kavanah. But if, let's say, you're closing your eyes, or if you're looking in the siddur and you're not looking out the window, then you're allowed to daven there. It's not even the window. So if either it's other people can see you, or if perhaps the window has a glare and you could see yourself, so it then has an image of a mirror, then that's the concern here as well, as we discussed in mirror. So here we don't want it, the window has the reflection, and we don't want to see a reflection in the mirror. We discussed yesterday about the window seeing outside and other people seeing you. But since you're not really looking at yourself, it's not an exact mirror. It's not a clear mirror like a regular mirror would be. You could just see a reflection. So then we're not worried that you're davening towards your own countenance, towards your own appearance. So again, that's why I mentioned that Arvis at nighttime, when there's a reflection, the daytime you could see out. But when shuls are just being designed, he says it's good to have shades down. If you put shades or curtains or something like that, so that at nighttime you're not looking at your own reflection. Again, all this is just the aforementioned discussing Shemoneh Esreh, the Tefillah. What happens during the rest of davening? I mean, I could just vividly remember spending probably a good part of my childhood just staring at the stained glass windows and all the designs in the shul and things like that, because I didn't have anything else to do during shul, because I wasn't really following what was going on. But at least I was there. But during Shemoneh Esreh, when you're looking in the siddur, which is also why it's another good idea to always use a siddur, to look inside the siddur, to close your eyes, to have a certain level of concentration. And as we've discussed in the past, the importance of saying Shemoneh Esreh, certainly vis-a-vis the other tefillah, so that's why these halachos apply. So, just to recap, we don't daven in front of other people who aren't davening. We try to have something in front of us, a wall, a chair, a stender, furniture. We don't daven in front of a mirror. We don't daven in front of a window where you could see a reflection as well. But one certainly is allowed, but we try not to do so. So at least we know where to daven, we know when to daven, and we know where to stand to daven, we know what not to look at while we're davening as well. So please continue davening for Tefillah May, Israel, for Shalom L'chol Patzui Israel, and the safe return of our hostages. Nishmat, Daniel, Shemoneh Esreh. Thank you so much for listening to us today, and we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.